It's time for NBC Radio News on KCAA Loma Linda. Brought to you by Green Kong Dispensary, the Inland Empire's finest curated medical and recreational dispensary. Google greenkong.com.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou. Lou is one of you and will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou is like you. He's on meds too.
Call 800-349-6855. 800-349-6855. 800-349-6855. Again, that's 800-349-6855.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. Today's show is brought to you by, or supported by, Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even contracts that you don't understand that are very complicated. For more information, contact Legal Shield at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Again, 213-245-1305. You can also visit them online at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas at our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. For those watching us on AMP TV, that's AAMP.TV, as well as Hotel Television, and everybody that's on the moon listening to us as well or watching us. All right, so here, Sonar, you know, I'm usually grinding in on this whole sports betting and sports gambling thing. I beat it to death, don't I?
Yeah, but that's your bread and butter.
I like it. Well, guess what? Are you ready for this? Here we go, folks. The NFL suspends Cardinals Josh Shaw through the 2020 season for gambling on games.
What you mean it's not a lifetime ban?
I know, right? What about Pete Rose? All right, so this is crazy. Now, Shaw had bet on NFL games on multiple occasions this season. The announcement says, quote, a league investigation uncovered no evidence indicating any inside information was used for that game. But maybe it was compromised. Maybe it wasn't. We don't know. According to them, the game was, we don't have any information on it being compromised in any way, nor was there evidence of or suggestion, any awareness by teammates, coaches, other players of his betting activity, close quote. There was also this statement from Roger, and I preface Roger with Goodell. This guy. So that's for you, Roger. The continued success of the league depends directly on each of us doing everything necessary to safeguard the integrity of the game and the reputation of all who participate in the league. At the core of this responsibility is the longstanding principle that betting on NFL games or any element of the game put it at risk. The integrity of the game damages public confidence in the game and in the NFL and is forbidden under all circumstances. If you work in the NFL in any capacity, you may not bet on football, period. Okay. I'm going to cut that short because look, this goes right back to the whole Pete Rose argument, right? Let's think about that for a minute. Now, look, Shaw can actually appeal for the suspension within a few days, whatever. Currently, he can apply for reinstatement on February 15th of 2021. Shaw has been on the injured reserve list all season because of a shoulder injury suffered during training camp. Now, we don't even really know if that's legit because listen to this. This isn't the first time Shaw's been in the headlines for negative reasons. In 2014, before his senior season at USC, he was suspended by the Trojans after lying. He told team officials he'd sprained both ankles jumping into a pool to save his drowning nephew. The reality was he jumped from a hotel balcony to escape the police who were called during a loud argument he was having with his girlfriend.
Broke both your ankles jumping into a pool? And you call yourself an athlete?
I know. Where does this end? Where does this end? This is ridiculous. So look, let's go back to the Pete Rose thing for a minute. Look, I'm not a fan of Pete Rose personally. Of what he did on the field, yes, I am. But what he did off the field, I'm certainly not. Another story for another time. But look, if Pete Rose got banned for gambling in baseball, period, whether it was on his team, another team, whatever. The fact is, he's banned for life. Now, how is this guy and all the others that have participated in the same shenanigans, how is Josh Shaw not banned for life from football? I would love to know that. Oh, is it because now MGM Resorts International is underwriting a lot of these agreements or whatever with the leagues? I mean, from basketball to football to whatever. Is that what it is? Is it now because baseball or gambling in sports is legal, but yet not for players? How does this work? I mean, it seems like one big conundrum that we can't seem to avoid.
Well, they definitely don't want to shine a poor light on gambling. That's the biggest thing. They don't want to have anything bad or any kind of negative connotations to sports betting.
But listen to what you just said. They don't want that. Now, who is they?
Come on, the people that are shoveling money to Roger Goodell.
Okay, that's why he's paid $40 million a year, basically, in my opinion, to keep his mouth shut and to stay out of the way. You know, it's like having a puppet president. Same idea. All right.
That's the way he's always been. I mean, you don't think that he could have solved any of these problems by not taking any of this money?
I don't know, man. I don't. All I know is this guy, in my opinion, is paid to shut up and stay out of things. But listen, when MGM starts selling casinos because of the sports gambling business, that came right out of the news a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, when they are basically saying, hey, look, we're going to sell the Bellagio. We're going to, for $4.6 billion, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sell the circus for whatever, billions of dollars. Well, what happens now? They take all that money and they're reinvesting in sports betting. I would love to hear the parameters of that. Now, I'm a shareholder of MGM Resorts International, so I could do this. I could talk about it because I'm an owner. I may own the cigarette butt in the ashtray, but guess what? I'm an owner of the company, so I could certainly speak my mind and say what I want. Now, think about this. If the NFL was a publicly traded company, maybe the owners could say something, but here's an interesting bit about that. Now, remember, the Green Bay Packers are owned by the people. Now, I wonder if there's a loophole to anything that deals with the Packers for one of the actual owners of the team, as I do the air quotes, one of the owners. I wonder if they could actually raise a little cane on this. What do you think about that? I think that's a very interesting point. And now when you think about the idea that, look, you've got a shareholder from Green Bay that has the ability to raise a question because they are an owner. Now, why would they be isolated not to say something? Well, I really believe they can say something, knowing how the Securities and Exchange Commission works and how FINRA works and how the public arena works, and all the people listening in on our business channel over in Boston, for example, or on CNBC over in Southern California. You know what I'm talking about here. So there's a real slippery slope here that's going on with the NFL and sports betting, and I'm just glad they finally got somebody got busted for it, and that's the end of the game. Back here in a minute on the Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Once upon a time, there lived 3 energy hogs. Now, an energy hog is what you have when humans waste energy. One day, the 3 energy hogs set out to find themselves a cottage.
Let's look for leaky windows,
said the first energy hog, for he knew that would waste energy.
Let's look for leaky doors,
said the second.
Let's look for swings then,
said the third, for he had more blubber than brains. So they set off down the road. Presently, they came upon a tiny cottage where dwelled a clever girl named Dreadylocks.
I hope it has leaky windows,
cried the first energy hog.
I hope it has leaky doors,
cried the second.
I hope it has a bathroom,
cried the third, for only his brains were smaller than his bladder. But Dreadylocks liked playing cool games at energyhog.org, and from energyhog.org she learned how to use energy wisely. So the 3 energy hogs were forced to look elsewhere to waste energy, and had to use the disgusting restroom at the gas station down the road. And the moral of the story is, to use energy wisely, log on to energyhog.org, or waste not, hog not.
This public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you in part by Cali Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk shows. Cali Vegas can help with everything they need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic like they're doing right now and hosting their very own talk show in their very own studio. For more information, contact Cali Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit them at calivegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And get that information you're looking for. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA in sunny Southern California, KCAA 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, and 1050 AM, our NBC News, CNBC Financial, and NBC Sports affiliate right here in Las Vegas, 97.9 FM, KIOF. And, of course, a big hello to our friends over in Boston on WBNW. Listen, everybody else, we can't remember all the other stations. They're all over the place. And a big welcome to those listening on iHeartRadio and Spotify, watching on AMP TV and Hotel Television. We're joined by a very special guest, and we're going to go ahead and throw it over to her so she can introduce herself.
Hi, how you doing, Sal?
Mighty fine. Tell everybody about yourself and who you are.
Well, my name is Adrienne Goodson. I'm a former WNBA player. I reside in New Jersey. Right now, I'm teaching public speaking and assistant coach for the varsity boys at Barringer High School in Newark. For the last 3 years, I've been in the NBA developmental programs, honing my skills and positioning myself to assist the team in team services and player development in one of the leagues. I was a part of the Top 100 Camp for Boys Coaches Camp, the leadership program, and just recently the 2018 NBA Assistant Coaches Program. With all of that, I also got my master's from Purdue in leadership and management. I also did a broadcast internship with Real Media Group, so I'm not shy on the mic or on the camera. You know, I just recently came out with an ebook called Elevate Your Game, which is a short read and a blurb into the life of an athlete who overcame obstacles and persevered, especially with God's grace. I briefly talk about my childhood, high school, Old Dominion, overseas, the ABL, rolling into the WNBA, and where I'm now. It's a good read, opening the door to more. So drop it on your phone at Apple, Barnes & Nobles, and Smashwords. So that's what I'm doing right now, Sal. And then now I'm on the radio show with you. I appreciate it.
What does it say? Everybody at home, what do you see? Are you watching on television right now? Can you see what that says? Look what that says in the screen.
It says Purdue.
You're damn right it does, kid. Very exciting. Very exciting. That's very exciting. Well, wow. I have to say, I'm very excited to have you on the show, and I'm trying to find something right now that will certainly make you happy, and it'll make me happy, and all of our fellow Boilermakers happy out there as well. And I think I may have found it, so just bear with me, because you know what? It's live, folks. Anything going to happen. Here we go. Are you ready? I know the suspense is killing me. I'll let that play in the background. A little Hail Purdue for you. Very exciting.
Wow.
It's great to have you on. Hey, listen, I went to school with Drew Brees, and I'm a very, very proud Boilermaker. For me, I mean, sure, I went to business school at Duke and law school in Loyola, Chicago, but it's old gold and black. That's it for me. So you went you did a grad program there. How exciting!
Yeah, and actually, it was online. I didn't do it on campus. I got awarded a scholarship. There was 5 of us, former players, that got awarded a scholarship to attend. Actually, it was Kaplan online, and then when I was getting ready to graduate, like 6 months before I was getting ready to graduate, Purdue bought it, and so all of a sudden, I'm getting my master's from Purdue. So it was awesome. Great. And I got that. Yeah, that happened to me through the Retired Players Association, and they just do great things over there, trying to help players continue on with their life after basketball. So I'm real appreciative of that.
Oh, that's great stuff. That's fantastic. Had to let that finish up. We'll give him a big round of applause. All right, so, yeah, you stepped in at the right time, because I believe Purdue went to, it was Kaplan, then it went to Purdue Global, and I mean, let's face it, 22 astronauts in the sky, so they've done something right over in West Lafayette, Indiana. That's I'm sure. They really have.
Absolutely.
So
not to mention the law school.
Right. So you have a nickname. People call you Goody, right? They called you Goody when you were playing? All right. So Goody, tell everybody about as your pioneer, I'm going to say as your pioneerness from in women's basketball, because you were playing before there was a WNBA or anything like that. You went over to Brazil to play, didn't you?
Absolutely. I played over in Brazil. I got the opportunity to play over there for 7 seasons. And it was awesome because I got to spend 6 months over there in Brazil, and then I come home 6 months, and I'd be home for 6 months. So it was an awesome experience. I got the opportunity to play with greats like Hortensia and Martha and Maria Paula and that whole national team over there that gave the United States a fit that one year and knocked them off in the championship. So I mean, my experience is vast as far as overseas was concerned. I played in Brazil. I also played in Barcelona. I also finished up in China. I was in Guangzhou, China. I finished up over there. So, I played a lot of places. But prior to the WNBA starting, there was a league called the American Basketball League, which all of us we were all over there playing. So it was running alongside the WNBA, but it couldn't survive because of TV. BET was our television network, and once they pulled out and Reebok pulled out, it was over for the league. And so 140 of us were without jobs, and they couldn't take all of us. But they took 40 of us, and we all came over. And then that's when the league became the strongest in the United States. It definitely hurt the league, hurt women's basketball, in a major way because it was like at that time the WNBA was pouring a lot of money into the marketing that they were doing for the league because they had competition. Now that they don't have competition, you don't see as much of the marketing out there, that they should have. And let's talk about making it viable and recognizable, to the audience, because after 23 years, the WNBA should now be a household name.
Yeah, it certainly should. And it's frustrating on our side. We do shows for the ladies, but more importantly, when it comes to the balance of dollars in women's sports, I mean, I'll tell you, just as a fan of basketball, I like to watch the ladies game because there's pure shooting. There's not a bunch of people trying to throw the ball down. This is about real defense, real shooting, real strategy. And folks, if you ever want to see a real basketball game, a good quality game, watch the women's game, because that is what the game is supposed to look like as far as we're concerned, as far as fans, if you're looking for fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my question to you is, because Adrienne, listen, all of the teams, the WNBA teams, most of the teams are owned by the NBA teams right now. And what drives me crazy, and I want to hear your opinion on this real quick, is because they're owned. I mean, don't you think there should be some kind of some semblance of a fair and reasonable pay instead of WNBA players getting paid about $13, $15, $20,000 a year versus the league minimum from the NBA? How ridiculous is that? There needs to be a balance, doesn't there?
Well, absolutely. I mean, my answer is going to be a little long-winded, and it's going to be 2 tiers. I'm just going to throw 2 facts out there. First of all, my concern is for change in the WNBA in its coverage, group licensing for former players, increase the salary cap, pension, lifetime health care, and player programs. In regards to the coverage, let's partner and put the games on Facebook Live like they did in the G League and let it go through the roof and get more sponsorship dollars that way. It's proven. The cap max, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is $996,000 per team. And back when I got drafted in 1999, it was just about to touch $750. It might have been $753. So in 23 years, you see the lack of growth in that area. The lack of media coverage has always hampered women's basketball all across the board. Okay? The fact of the matter is the WNBA gets 2% airtime, while 95% of the focus is on the men. Not to put it down, but just to shed light on the fact that females are not considered sports fanatics when we do follow baseball, we do follow football, we follow soccer, we follow basketball, we follow volleyball and NASCAR. So
I want to pick up on that. Adrienne, I want you to hold that thought because when we come back break, I want to talk a little bit more about that. We've got a lot to discuss here. We're going to commercial break in about 15 seconds or so. So hang in there, folks. We're here with Adrienne Goodson, 5-time Brazilian League champion, a woman pioneer for pro basketball and a WNBA All-Star as well. Back here in a few minutes on the Circus with Adrienne. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Once upon a time, there lived 3 energy hogs. Now, an energy hog is what you have when humans waste energy. One day, the 3 energy hogs set out to find themselves a cottage.
Let's look for leaky windows,
said the first energy hog, for he knew that would waste energy.
Let's look for leaky doors,
said the second.
Let's look for a swing set,
said the third, for he had more blubber than brains. So they set off down the road. Presently, they came upon a tiny cottage where dwelled a clever girl named Dreadylocks.
I hope it has leaky windows,
cried the first energy hog.
I hope it has leaky doors,
cried the second.
I hope it has a bathroom,
cried the third, for only his brains were smaller than his bladder. But Dreadylocks liked playing cool games at energyhog.org, and from energyhog.org she learned how to use energy wisely. So the 3 energy hogs were forced to look elsewhere to waste energy, and had to use the disgusting restroom at the gas station down the road. And the moral of the story is, to use energy wisely, log on to energyhog.org, or waste not, hog not.
This public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
The symbol of power and majesty, the gorilla, feared and respected. Our closest animal cousin, believed to possess human-like depth and understanding. Green Kong Cannabis Dispensary of Paris aspires to develop the same understanding. Green Kong is a destination, a personal experience with great service for everyone. Located right off the 215 freeway and Hurley Knox Road in Paris, Green Kong is safe, legal, and easy. Visit greenkong.com for orders. You must be 21. Green Kong is the place for you. Experience Green Kong's exotic surroundings in their jungle-like setting. Bathed in soothing light, Green Kong is a go-to destination for the CBD or cannabis curious or the connoisseur. Google greenkong.com or visit Green Kong's brand new, exciting new location in Paris, California.
Co.com, American Business Trust Company.
I'm your Ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you in part by the American Business Trust Company, helping companies with strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, establishing companies with physical locations or on the internet. Visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO, abtrustco.com, or call 657-600-1876 for more information. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Give them a call and tell them you're looking for more information. And welcome back to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, as well as 97.9 FM KIOF right here in Las Vegas. Also, a big welcome to everybody watching on AMP TV. That's AAMP.TV and Hotel Television. And we are joined by Adrienne Goodson, 5-time Brazilian League champion, women's basketball player, a WNBA All-Star, and basically a women's pro basketball pioneer. Welcome back, Adrienne.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be on the show.
This is great
Good
stuff.
conversation we got going on.
In the last segment, we had started to, you were telling everybody about you're making a couple of points, and it was about men's basketball getting, I think, 98% of the viewership and 2% for the women's. Talk a little bit more about that, because I want to pick up on that. You were talking about women and sports fans and so forth.
Yeah, I was saying that the fact of the matter is that the WNBA only gets 2% of the airtime, while 95% is focused on the men. And I was saying not to put that down or to make it a negative, but to shed light on the fact that, females are not considered sports fanatics. We're not taken seriously when we do follow basketball and football and soccer. That there's a big following for basketball, volleyball, even NASCAR. I mean, we watch sports, period. But we are not taken considered, seriously as a market, and if we're to be valued by the NBA, it needs to market and promote it to build an audience.
Well, what I find interesting about what you just said is, first of all, women do like sports. They are fans of sports. But think about this. In a lot of households here in America, a lot of the women handle the financing in the homes. They're the ones that dictate from paying bills to this and that, because generally speaking, women are a hell of a lot more responsible with money largely than men. I don't know if you would agree with that, but I tell you, I know a lot of that would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really. And so the reason I mention this is because when it comes to spending in the house, discretionary income, a lot of the women will make the decisions. Well, we don't have the money to buy this, but we have the money to buy this because there's a little bit more responsibility. And so for the NBA to be so short-sighted as far as offering the women either less coverage or less time or whatever it is, that less of everything, because they're certainly offering them a hell of a lot of less money. They really don't make that much money. And as you certainly are aware of, a lot of women have to go overseas to go make some semblance of real money for women's basketball. And the women are not leaving college early to go play in the NBA for mega millions. So they come out a more refined product, which is exactly what the school system is there for in the first place. So you have an education, and not only are you building upon it, but you're doing something great for the community even after your playing days. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's what makes us, such a valuable resource to teams, life after basketball, because we are educated. We do stay in school. We have our education. We go far with that. We have skills that the men don't necessarily have, when they get finished playing basketball, because we do have our degrees, and some of us go on to get our masters. So when we do come knocking on the door and come back for jobs, we are definitely qualified.
Right.
Now that you're talking about salary, just to go back to the salary cap, I mean, if the real number is $996,000, Sal, I'd love to see them, players, women's basketball players make a fraction of the salary of their NBA counterparts. They need to increase the salary cap to about $2.5 million, expand the roster to 13, increase the coaching staff to 4 with a player development position available for only a former player, and promote the heck out of the league. 2 commercials aren't going to cut it in 2020. They need to create $1 million budget for advertising and disperse it evenly, if that's all they want to do, between the teams, and then they could do their own damn marketing. They could advertise locally. They know what they need, billboards, however they want to do it. It could be done.
And the problem is, Adrienne, the problem is the people out there don't know the real story behind it. They don't know the numbers behind it. All they see is let's say the average viewer, they're flipping the channels, they're looking on the remote. Okay, I want this one, I want that one. No, all right, here's a women's basketball game. Hey, this looks pretty cool. How come they're not slam dunking? Let's go ahead and get past it. Well, the problem is the general public is not really aware of the skill level of women's basketball, and they're certainly not aware of how sound it is fundamentally as well. So for all those people that are going to these camps, and let's just say Joe Blow, that's just a common name, right? That everybody refers to. Right? Now let's just say Joe Blow has a camp, and let's say Joe Blow was a dunk specialist. He doesn't know much about shooting because he can't shoot his way out of a wet paper bag. And let's just say he doesn't know much about defense because he was a dunk specialist, right? He's got no real low post game. All he does, dribble, drive, dunk. That's it, right? Or he pork chops his way through the paint and expects to get a call every time. There are players out there that I'm referring to, but I'm trying not to refer to them right now. But my point is, I mean, look, the women's game is a complete game, but guys don't really understand it. Largely, the American public doesn't really understand it. And I'll even go as far as the Canadian now with, of course, the Torontosauruses, which they should change the name to the Torontosauruses, by the way. That's a great name. But nonetheless, they don't necessarily know the value of a good fundamental game. And this is part of the problem. When I watch women's basketball, I say, okay, I know what I'm looking at. But if I'm watching it with somebody, they have no damn clue. Like, hey, they're not slam dunking the ball. Well, it's not about that. But so maybe there's less sponsorships because there's less viewers because the women are not throwing the ball down. But the problem is the message that's being sent is the wrong message, I'm saying, as far as the consumers, because they're not picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what happens when you have minimal exposure. You know, you can only see it sometimes. It's not all of the time. I remember, sitting at work, quiet as kept, so watching on Facebook Live, and I'm watching the G League, and I'm watching the playoffs in the middle of the day, and I can get to enjoy that. I mean, that their viewers went through the roof, and it took them to a whole nother level, and it's just that type of exposure. There's not a whole lot of dollars that need to be spent, and I'm not trying to steer them away from where they are right now, but I just don't think that we get enough coverage over there on Twitter.
Well, what about with YouTube and the World Series and stuff like that? I mean, look, there are all those online venues, just like Facebook, whatever, but there are YouTubes of the world and the Ustreams of the world. And Sonar, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, we're carried on 5, 6, 7 of these, aren't we, on top of regular television?
Yeah, AMP TV is its own streaming platform right now. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it seems to be, and that's what you're getting to, is that the exposure is the hardest part to get out there. Because, I mean, they're spending all their broadcast monies on the NBA and not sending any your direction.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the way that it goes. And I think, like I said, after 23 years, we got to stop, walking and treading around the same mountain and really, really make some viable changes. This new CBA and really listen to the players and what it is that they need, and even bring back some former players to help them get to the end of this CBA and make some viable decisions that are really going to help the league's growth within the next couple of years, because they do have a new president right now, and she needs some new people around her, some new minds, and some new ideas, so that we can really, really come up with a plan that'll keep this league around for the next 25 years.
Well, Adrienne, we could air and we could stream the WNBA games, even the WMLBA games as well. And that's Janelle Burse I believe she is the commissioner of that league as well. And that's kind of like the Women's Developmental League, right? So I think it would be a good idea maybe for AMP TV to possibly carry some of these to give a little extra exposure. And let's face it, everything is tied back to the Sports Circus. And I have to tell you, every month, the Sports Circus alone, I think we're 5.5 million are averaging as our regular website traffic, but we have our own internal mechanisms, of course, which we could spin back to AMP TV as well to gain that extra exposure. So who knows, maybe there's something in the future between the WNBA, the WMLBA, and AMP TV. What do you think about that, young lady?
I think that sounds awesome. That sounds absolutely awesome. We have to start somewhere. You guys are just fantastic. You're absolutely fantastic. You generate 694,000 impressions per hour, 4 million website visits. I mean, come on.
We're doing
How does it
something
get
right.
better than that?
Right, we're certainly doing something right. I'll tell you what, here in the last minute, Sonar, take 10 seconds, 15 seconds to talk a little bit about what we can do for the WMLBA and for the WNBA.
Well, what I like about it is the exposure, getting it out there. Nowadays, everybody wants everything right there on their phones. I mean, now that Hulu and Disney Plus and everything else is right there on your phones, why not get the WNBA involved? Why not have a streaming service for you guys? If the NBA is holding you back, then it's time to break out of that box and maybe cut the cord.
Yep, exactly. All right, get us out of here, Sonar. Take us to break.
You're listening to the Sports Circus. We'll be right back after these very important messages.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou. Lou is one of you and will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou is like you. He's on meds too.
Call 800-349-6855. 800-349-6855. 800-349-6855. Again, that's 800-349-6855.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. Folks, make sure you check out the sportscircus.com for all of our future guests, our prior guests, all of our podcasts, and also check out our partners too. We work with some really good organizations, some good charities, and for some fantastic causes as well. So make sure you check out the sportscircus.com. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. And those listening here in Las Vegas on 97.9 FM, KIOF, Magic 97, as well as those watching on AMP TV and Hotel Television, literally around the world. Big round of applause for them. Now, folks, we're back here with Adrienne Goodson, pioneer in women's professional basketball, a 5-time champion in Brazil, a WNBA All-Star, very involved with the basketball world today. We're talking a little bit of strategy on maybe getting that WNBA and its affiliate leagues a little bit of extra exposure. So what are your thoughts on this, Adrienne?
I think that it's awesome that you guys would even extend yourselves in that way. You know, to us, to me, to attempt to do something like this, because I think that it really, really does need help, and it needs people like you guys to say, hey, listen, let's take this and help this grow, because it has been 23 years, and I want people to remember me as a basketball player. I want people to remember Cheryl Spooks. I want people to remember Tamika Catchings and the Swin Cashes and the Teresa Weatherspoons, and, you know, do some throwback stuff, and, you know, just keep our faces out there, and at the same time give these young women something to aspire to. There wasn't a whole lot when I was growing up. My mentors were men, but now there's us, and, you know, we're faces for these young girls, and I would love for the girls that are out there right now that are playing to continue to be able to, you know, to be a dream for some kid right now, and you know, just keep it going. So the fact that you guys have said this, and you would be willing to be somebody who would partner with WNBA and try to take this thing further and stream, that's just awesome. And getting back to, you know, I just want to take it back before. Thank you for the applause. Thank you for the applause.
Hey, Goody.
Getting back, yeah.
You talk a lot about how it's a community and how it is such a nice, tight-knit group. How important is it for each of the individual teams to reach out and be supported by their community that they play in?
I mean, the difference between men and women's basketball is the fact that we are so much out there in the community, and we're so much more connected to the fans in ways, not to take anything away from the men, but we really, really do get out there in the community when we do things. You're speaking to someone who is a 2-time Community Assist Award winner, and that means basically when you win the Community Assist Award that you've gone out and you've paid 100 visits to 100 different programs, schools, hospitals, CHKD, to the toughest of things. And so, you know, it was always a pleasure for me to give back, because there was someone out there who took my hand when I was a little girl and led me to becoming a WNBA player. So the community is really important to us, and so we go out there and we love to do the junior NBA and the NBA Cares, and, you know, just get out there at full court presses, and, you know, with the former players getting out there. So I just would like to see them reach out and just really, really come together and really make this happen for these young players that are playing right now. Not to say that we didn't deserve it. They can show love to us in so many other ways, especially bringing a pension in and lifetime health insurance. Those are ways you show love to us, bring us back, and have us be a part of the things that you're doing right now to help grow this league, instead of shutting the door and saying, okay, next decade, and we're not worried about the others. I mean, the men have the same problem. Now you see more former players that are active, and a lot of that has to do with the Retired Players Association ushering players back into the mix. And, you know, they're trying to pick up on the women's side, but I'd like to see more momentum.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the Retired Players Association. Look, there's one of the guys that I work with. We'll talk about it offline. And we have put together something where the Retired Players Association have sort of dropped the ball. And so this party and I are doing something really special for those retired players that don't have the benefits. They can't get dental. They can't get medical. They can't get the things that they need. And I know some really, really ugly stories about some great players that are in such great need, and they don't have any resources. They don't want to ask anybody for anything. They're living in misery. Some of them are living under the overpasses on freeways. It's awful, and it shouldn't be that way. And look, the leagues, with all the money and all the TV contracts, they need to do something. They don't need to be paying high school players or college players. What they need to do is take care of their own that have actually made it and that have earned their way there and that have played in front of people and made a good impression on people, but not only making a good impression, but teaching a lot of people about, look, life is basketball, or is basketball life? Which one is it? Or does life equal basketball? I mean, which one is it? The fact is, basketball doesn't treat the players the same way the players treat basketball, because when it's done, what happens? They leave them under overpasses or they don't give a damn about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and you hit the nail right on the head. And they are, don't get me wrong, they are trying to do some things, but I feel
but it's what's convenient for them.
Absolutely. If a player devotes his or her life to build the league for several years, then they owe the player opportunities at growth off the court as well. Let's talk about making these player programs that you have out here viable programs that are recognized and validated by the teams and used as a breeding ground of talent to help create jobs for former players immediately. Absolutely immediately. Now, you can't hire every single person, but those players that have come through the player programs, yes. There's enough sponsors in the league that can have internship programs, and they can also have programs that can usher players in to work for their companies. There's enough places out there. There's enough things that can be done.
When are we going to see a woman as a head coach of an NBA team?
Whoa. I can tell you this. I really don't know. That's definitely on the table, but it's on the table underneath a pile of other things. Now, people argue that they're hiring women now, and you're right. They have, and here are the names. Becky Hammon, San Antonio Spurs. Neil Ivey, Memphis Grizzlies. Swin Cash and Teresa Weatherspoon. I want to say thank you to the New Orleans Pelicans because you brought in two of us. You got Jenny Bocek over there with the Dallas Mavericks and Tamika Catchings with the Indiana Pacers. However, that's 6 people in the whole universe, Sal. Can we talk? Second of all, I say shout out to Marianne Stanley, my former coach at Old Dominion, who won the NCAA championship with me in 1985, led by Medina Dixon and Tracy Traxton. I was a freshman at the time. Marianne just recently won the WNBA championship with the Mystics this year, and she just got hired like 3 or 4 days ago as the head coach for the Indiana Fever alongside Tamika Catchings as GM. So we got 7 of us in there.
Okay.
It's not enough.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's enough. And listen, we're running on time here. I want you to go ahead and get all your social media out there, how people could follow you, where could they find your book, and so forth.
Yes, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me under my name, Adrienne Goodson, Adienne. Last name Goodson, Goodson. Also, I want to definitely say today is Black Friday. I love for people to support me. Go out there and get my book, Elevate Your Game. You can get it on Apple. You can get it on Barnes & Noble and Smashword. I love some people to come and follow me. Please come follow me on Instagram. Come follow me on Facebook.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think a lot of people are going to be following you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those streaming. If we can put that together with the WNBA and the Developmental League as well, I think that's a huge, huge win for everybody. What do you think?
I think that'd be awesome. I think we need to sit down and talk off the cuff and make it happen, Sal.
That sounds great. Adrienne, thanks for joining us today here on the Sports Circus. Of course, you're always welcome back, and we'll bring you back. Who knows? Maybe after the next hire. Anyway, folks, we're out of time here on the Circus, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone. Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
It's time for NBC Radio News on KCAA Loma Linda. Brought to you by Green Kong Dispensary, the Inland Empire's finest curated medical and recreational dispensary. Google greenkong.com.